So will anything actually change at Eskom now that André de Ruyter is gone, especially as far as the transition to green energy is concerned? We can speak about that with Dr. Roland Ngam, Program Manager for Climate Justice and Socio-Ecological Transformation at the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation here in Southern Africa. Very good evening to you, Doctor. Grateful for your time as always. So does André de Ruyter's departure leave any of the projects around renewables and the just transition at risk, do you think?
No, because let's say on a philosophical level, South Africa is already transitioning very rapidly due to load shedding. Remember, a few years ago, people used to laugh when we talk about rooftop solar and all that. Now it's a kind of matter-of-fact decision. Now, in terms of the $8.5 billion, it is a package that has been negotiated not just by André de Ruyter, but remember that there is a Presidential Climate Change Commission sitting at the presidency, and President Ramaphosa really put his foot down by creating this commission and supervising its work, because obviously you had that kind of friction with Minister Mantashe and others. And so nothing is going to change. I think that this is a policy that will gain traction. Obviously, the Parliament is also discussing a climate change bill. And so there are many pieces of the puzzle that are coming together, and that is not going to change.
Has de Ruyter left Eskom better than when he found it?
Well, when André de Ruyter was appointed, I said very clearly that the reason why he had been appointed was to restructure and prepare for the unbundling. And so last year, for example, you heard him announce the National Transmission Company of South Africa. And the other day with Baxter at the mining in Daba, you also heard him say with a lot of frustration that he had suggested the name of a list of executives to government, and government had been sitting on it for a full year. He reduced the number of workers and also did a lot of work around preparing many of the smaller stations for the future. And I think that is really why he was there. He wasn't really there as an engineer keeping the lights on and so on. Mm-hmm. And so I think from that perspective only, if we look at that perspective only, yes, he succeeded in the mission that was given to him. And now, obviously, we need someone with more engineering skills who is going to improve the energy availability factor, because obviously you can see the consequences on the economy when we are in, for example, stage 6 load shedding.
But one of the promises or commitments that he'd made right at the beginning was about reducing load shedding. Yet under his watch, we actually reached the worst level of load shedding, where even stage 6 now has gone on this year for the longest that we've ever experienced it. I recall the shock and horror when we got to stage 6 for the first time in 2019. And now it's gone on for days on end. We don't even know when we're going to come out of it. So whoever takes over, what are we going to have to measure that person against when you consider just the situation now as de Ruyter is leaving?
Yeah, so really, just to go back once again to my previous answer, de Ruyter really was there as someone restructuring and, you know, the kind of CEO who comes in and makes the company leaner and fitter to open it up to more investments and that kind of thing. That was really his mentality. And so that is really why there was less investment in equipment and improving the energy availability factor, because he wanted to improve the balance sheet, etc., etc. Now, in terms of looking forward, I think that the new board that has been appointed is laser focused on appointing an engineer. There are many reasons for this, not least next year's elections. And so President Ramaphosa, for example, in his State of the Nation address, made it very clear. Minister Mantashe as well have made it very clear that what will improve energy availability in the short term is to make sure that Medupi, Kusile, Tutuka, etc., some of the underperforming units of these power stations improve their energy availability factor very quickly.
All right.
And that is going to happen probably before 2024.
Dr. Roland Ngam, good to speak to you, Program Manager for Climate Justice and Socio-Ecological Transformation at the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation, Southern Africa. Good to speak to you.